Hello, everybody. Welcome to Skeptic Hangout, the place where we sit back, relax, and chit chat about intriguing and sometimes controversial topics through the lens of skepticism. I am one of your hosts, Laura from Unapologetically Me, and I have with me today my lovely co host, Richard from the Skeptic Takeout. Today, we are going to be talking about Christmas. And as you can see, Gil is once again not with us this week, so you can send all the coal to his address. In the meantime, grab your English tea or your hot spiced apple cider and join us as we discuss who put the X in Xmas.
Who did put the X in Xmas?
Oh, man, I don't know. This is episode 44, Christmas. Okay, Richard. For the audience who are just now joining us, I just have to get out there and say we have actually been talking for the last 10 minutes as though Laura hit record. So all of this first 10 minutes of the show is going to be us trying to regurgitate all of the wonderful, spectacular, spot on things that we said in the last 10 minutes. Not being recorded.
Yeah, not recording is before we go into the show, I had an interview with I'm not going to name him because I don't know if it wants to be named, but I did an interview for my channel with an atheist who was an ex-cop, and it was a really good interview about how being a policeman and in the States and from a very religious place went down when you were an atheist. And we had the best conversation, and we were at it for almost 2 hours, and we came out of it and I realized I've not hit the record button.
It's so sad. What's sad about it is the gold that you feel like you've lost. Like, you're like, I really feel like I stated this well, or that conversation really flowed, and now even if we do it all over again, and even if it's great, it's going to be different. Right? So having said that, let's dive right into this week's episode on Christmas. Okay, so getting into it right off the bat, one of the things that I wanted to talk about first is the good things about Christmas, the things that we love about it. I know that like me on my channel, on Unapologetically Me, I've done episodes on Christmas traditions and on Christmas as a secular person versus a religious person. And we've touched on those kinds of subjects a lot over the episodes, but I kind of wanted to take this particular episode in a fun and pleasant direction. And I know that we both love Christmas, so I thought we would start out by talking about some of our Christmas traditions. So now, Richard, now that you've had a chance to warm up and kind of discuss some of what you liked with me about your holiday traditions, let's recap.
Yeah, this is very deja vu because we touched on this in last week's episode as well. So which we recorded 20 minutes ago. So it's like this is going to be fun. No, I
we've already gotten into the holiday eggnog people, and I promise we have not.
I like a nice relaxed Christmas. I only get 2 days off over Christmas. And I like it to be chilled out and just spent with my family. Not like I don't like the big traditional turkey Christmas dinner. Just like finger foods, or maybe a ham or something if we're feeling extravagant, and just sit and relax and just chill out and watch the kids play. I love Christmas, but I like it in a subdued, relaxed way. I'll wear a Christmas jumper, as like I've got on now, but you can. They're not bright, colourful, and I'm not into all the reindeer antlers and things like. Although it looks like Laura's got a pair on. Just
oh, it does, huh? Because of the whole like the flower behind me. If I position my head just right, it looks like I've got a crown on my head.
I love that like kind of relaxed vibe. But so I love Christmas, and especially I've got 2 young kids, and there's nothing finer. There is nothing finer than their excitement on the faces and them coming down and eager to open the presents, and I love that. That's Christmas for me. That is in its entirety Christmas for me. Just relaxed, watching the children play, and just like sat around the fire, just being nice and Christmassy.
I love that. Yeah, it's interesting because you talk about Christmas as being relaxing, and for a lot of people this time of year, it's like it's kind of like chaos. It's running from this person's house and that person's house and having dinner with family and this and that. And I'm right there with you. Like my holiday tradition for Christmas Day is to always just spend it with our immediate family. And if a grandparent like on either side wants to swing by and stop by, that's fine. We don't typically like make it a point to be like, okay, these people have to come over for Christmas, or this is a party we're going to have. It's more like, well, here's what we're planning on doing. If you'd like to show up and join us, you're welcome to. Um, but hey, if you want to hit up another siblings Christmas festivities, then by all means go for it. Like there's really no tradition or obligation in terms of extended family on Christmas Day. Like we tend to do anything that involves extended family we tend to do in the days leading up to Christmas.
Yeah.
I know on last week's episode I talked about the burrito bowls we're going to be having for Christmas Eve at my brother's house. But honestly, even then, the only chaos that's there is all of our children, right? Is just the children getting together and having fun. It's not even that like crazy. We all tend to sit around the table and play like progressive rummy, or what is that with the dice, shaking the Yahtzee. So we'll do something like that, but it tends to be pretty low key. Um, but yeah, Christmas Day, we're the same way. It's open up presents in the morning and then just kind of chill and relax throughout the day. I also have an aversion to turkey. It's not my favorite. I will eat it when forced. But I don't go out of my way to make it. So we typically splurge on Christmas and do a prime rib. But not every year. Like it's not a tradition. It's more like, well, I'm just really feeling like prime rib this year. There was one year where we just did like, we'll just throw something in the crock pot and just let it cook all day and then just relax. And when it's done, just throw food in a bowl and eat, right? So yeah, it's interesting to hear that we have some similarities and overlaps with how we approach our day.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see to have Gil on this episode, just to see how his Christmas contrasts. So if you're listening, Gil, get in the Facebook group comments and tell everybody what your Christmas is like. Do your bit. Do your bit for the team.
Yeah, no, I would imagine that like because you guys have a lot of traditional foods that I'm not familiar with. So anytime Gil talks about like your guys' holiday traditions, it always involves some sort of something I've never heard of. So I would imagine hearing him talk about like the arrangement for the day. So what is your food like when you say finger foods? What does that look like for you guys?
Oh, just I don't know. Really, it depends. Some sandwiches, a few sandwiches, kind of things like sausage rolls, which I'm guessing you're not familiar with.
Are they well like
The
summer
sausage roll.
sausages?
I had a friend. I've got a friend from California, and about 10 years ago he was over here, something like that. Maybe no, even longer than that. 15 years ago he was over here, and we were in a hotel, and I offered him a sausage roll, and it gave it the most curious look I've ever seen anyone give a piece of food, and he thanked me after he'd eaten it for the sausage burger.
Oh, it's like a burger? Okay, so it's like
It's kind of cold sausage
okay.
wrapped in pastry.
Ooh, God, it sounds like what we call pigs in a blanket. Oh, that's
So,
good stuff.
yeah,
Man.
yeah, we have pigs in blankets as well. The little wee sausages wrapped in bacon. That's what we
Oh,
call
you wrap
pigs
them
in
in bacon?
blankets.
Okay, so for us, when we say pigs in a blanket, we mean wrapped in some sort of dough.
Right.
Um,
Okay.
yeah, that's interesting. But yeah, when you say sausage roll, the first thing I think of is like, and we do this every year, is some sort of either like a hard salami roll or like a summer sausage that you like cut up into slices.
Right.
And
No,
then
it's
you
nothing like that.
yeah, and then you said sausage burger, and I was like, wait, what? That's interesting. You gotta
We
send me a
need an
picture of that. We
episode
gotta
on
put a
food. I'm
picture.
sure we've mentioned this before.
That would be fun. That'd be fun. But I think you should put a picture up, and I'll put a picture up on Facebook of our holiday spreads on the Facebook page and
Yeah.
see if we can get other people to post their holiday food spreads, because I'm sure if you even within the UK or within America, you're gonna get a wide variety
Oh yeah,
of stuff.
probably more so in America, but I think finger food in the UK tends to be the same kind of shit.
The same 5 items over and over.
Yeah.
We don't even
Yeah.
do the same finger foods from year to year, let alone like all the different families. So I suspect you're right. We are really random. It's like, well, what do you guys feel like? We do typically have some sort of sausage or salami, but again, that's just because like the kids are big meat eaters and it's just easy. But sometimes we'll do things you have to bake in the oven. Sometimes we'll do cold veggies. I mean,
Yeah.
it's super random based on how we feel. Um, so yeah, that's interesting. That's cool.
We spent a great deal of time when talking about Christmas, talking about food.
Food. Well, maybe we're both hungry or something. No, that's a good point. So that's a good way to maybe segue away from the food into something else. But I wonder if it's because, and this is just me kind of throwing it out there, but food does kind of end up becoming kind of integral, right, to various
Yeah.
holidays. And I think that's especially true of Christmas, and then for us, Thanksgiving. I don't know what kind of holidays you guys have that are similar to that, but just sort of like a fall harvest festival type thing. The food tends to be the centerpiece, and
Mm.
for Christmas, I would say it's more the presents and the family time, but the food still is pretty um, substantial to your day, right?
Yeah, I know a friend of mine from Sweden has just recently been over to the US for the Faithless Forum, and
I know who you're talking about.
she got to experience Thanksgiving for the first time, and you know, I'd love that. I'd love that. I've not had that opportunity. I'd really enjoy that, but maybe one day.
Well, we always welcome outsiders into our house, so we'll have to get you a plane ticket and come and
Yeah, you
have
don't
Thanksgiving
get
with us
don't get much more outside than
outside.
Yorkshire.
Um, okay, so Christmas traditions or just Christmas in general. We've talked about our days and we've talked about sort of the food that we eat, but what are some of your like favorite things about the holiday? Because this is a holiday that like you and me both love.
Yeah.
So, what are some of the things you love about it?
Do you know what? I really love Christmas songs. No, and I don't
Music.
not so much the poppy ones, just the more traditional, the like carols and stuff. I like that. In fact, I was at work the other day. I'd been called to a different office than I usually work to because they were kind of snowed under because Christmas time is our busiest time of year,
Mhm.
and they were snowed over. So I'd gone to this other office, which was maybe 30 miles away from where I'm normally based, and
Mhm.
they had the kind of Christmas songs on the radio as I walked in, and everyone was so miserable. And they were
What?
like, "Oh, let's turn this shit off. Oh, we're not listening to fucking Christmas songs already." And like, chill out, just have fun and relax and get into the spirit of things. You
Or
know
just
what I
ignore
mean?
it. Like, I go into businesses where they're playing some sort of music I don't like, just let it go. Let it
Yeah,
go.
yeah, but I like that. I like the kind of Christmas songs and stuff. It is especially working where I do and only having a couple of days off over Christmas. I think the Christmas songs really get me in the Christmas mood before. I think if I didn't have that,
Yes.
I'd because we're so busy, I just don't think I'd even think about Christmas until Christmas Day.
Well,
And
that
having that like uplifts me a little bit and gets me into the mood.
Oh, I love that. But like that and the decorations, right? Like, do you guys
Yeah,
decorate for Christmas?
we do. Yeah,
You can tell I do too.
yeah. I could show you if I had a movable camera, but it's static, so I can't.
No, but that to me, first of all, going back to what you were saying originally, I freaking love Christmas music. And I'm not even one of those Grinches. Like, if you want to start playing your Christmas music before Thanksgiving, you go get it. Like, you go have your fun. I love it. And like my favorite, just because like okay, so when I was raising the kids and they were little, I loved all the like Disney Mickey Mouse Christmas tunes where it was just all really hyper and the high voices and all the fun, because it was just really neat how it played into like where our kids were at and the hype of the house and the feeling of the house. And now that my kids are older, I really enjoy like Michael Bublé and his Christmas stuff. Like it's just the right kind of upbeat with the right kind of chill and it's kind of jazzy and but it's not too traditional or slow or boring. So yeah,
I like the traditional slow boring stuff.
I do to a point, but
You
like I
can't
put
beat a
on,
bit of Bing. Come on, Laura.
no, so it's funny you said Bing. I put on a playlist that was like Bing's Christmas music, and I loved the first like maybe 4 or 5 songs. And then they started getting really, really gospely and religious
Yeah.
and like long, drawn out, slow. And I was like, all right, kids, we're changing the playlist. Right. And then we changed it to pop Christmas, and it was like, oh God, kids, we're changing the playlist. Right. And so yeah, I mean, we love having the Christmas music sort of playing throughout the house whenever we're doing something or like cleaning or baking cookies. Um, but I find that like there's something magical about the way it makes you feel, right? It really it just changes like your whole um I don't know, vibe. And it just feels really good.
Yeah, and that's a great way to put it, because obviously in our community, in the skeptic community, there's there's a version to words like spirit and magical
Yeah.
and things like that. We're using them here in just a kind of, as
It's
I explained.
colloquial. Yeah.
Yeah, and in a word I've put on the to someone I was talking to on the other day, on the internet the other day, and I just said, gusto is just as good a word as spirit, to say the human feeling, and
Yeah, gusto.
yeah,
Gusto.
it really does. It just gets you in the right mood, and that's all we mean by
Yeah.
that. We don't mean actual magical.
No, well, so music really manipulates your feelings and your mood. And I mean, that's pretty much true across the board. Although what kind of music affects what people, it's different from person to person. But music is something that impacts us deeply. And so with me, with Christmas music, I don't have that aversion to it. It actually
Yeah,
like it alters my mood and my feelings, and it makes me feel really like in the moment, and like it just makes the whole time of year feel different from the rest of the year and just
yeah,
special. And if we listened to Christmas music 24/7 all year round, it wouldn't be like that. So yeah,
no,
when I say magical, that's what it is. It's a different feeling from the music that you're listening to the other, like 12 months or 11 months out of the year.
yeah, and yeah, it isn't. You can't. I don't think you can beat a bit of Christmas tunes, like we said. But uh, when we're talking about the kind of uh, we've been talking about a lot about the good things, and what makes us feel good. It's also a time of reflection, I think, for a lot of people, Christmas. And whether that's about thinking about people kind of less fortunate than you,
Hmm.
or like just reminiscing on people we've lost and things like that.
Yeah.
It's how much does that come into your Christmas, but in both those aspects?
So, oh gosh, like right off the top of my head, I really, really resonate with the first example of the thinking of people less fortunate than you and stuff like that. Like we try to give and be charitable throughout the year and donate and stuff like that. But there is sort of an extra emphasis on it on Christmas. And like we love doing the angel trees and letting the kids grab their own gifts off the angel trees, and the kids pick out the gifts for these individuals. That way, I mean, we pay for it. We don't make the kids pay for it, but they are taking part in an experience where they're um taking the Christmas list of a child they know is less fortunate than them, and they're providing for that child, and they're looking for something for that child. And they're not looking for themselves or somebody that they love. And so it's kind of a learning experience, I'm hoping for them. But in terms of like maybe the more melancholy side, I don't get that a lot during the holidays. I like when we talk about like losing family members or people that were in our lives and aren't anymore. I tend to feel it more in like quiet reflective moments, or like with my grandma, for example. It's when I'm painting or listening to a specific kind of music. And she listened to a lot of that old like Bing Crosby type music, not just
Yeah,
Christmas music, but in general. And so if I put on a mix of like Frank Sinatra, Bing, and all those old fashioned guys, I'm like in a very secular way, like I'm saying this colloquially, but like it's like I'm channeling her spirit, right? It's like
yeah,
I'm remembering that time with her, and I'm thinking about that time with her. Um, but Christmas, I don't know, it's been so traditionally in my family growing up and when I started having my own kids, it's been very focused on the nuclear family.
Yeah.
What about you?
Yeah, I agree with you pretty much on the first point that it's. I mean, we're the same. We give throughout the year, and the second, and Christmas time does, especially where I work, because we get the opportunity to kind of, we sometimes get together and kind of give things to, especially this year because I'm in a different role this year. We've kind of got together a little bit, and we're giving things to charity shops for people who, children who haven't got gifts and stuff. So yeah, and that I lost my dad just before New Year's Day, just before the day before New Year's Eve. So although it's not Christmas, I tend, the last Christmas I had with my dad before he died, he came out of the respite care for a day, and came home for Christmas Day, and it was really, really frail. Really, it looked nothing like kind of we were used to him looking like.
Yeah.
He didn't have the energy, and but it was nice to have him there. So although I don't kind of sit there and think about it a lot on Christmas, I do sometimes get that memory back of that one Christmas Day when he was kind of sat with us for his last Christmas, and then a week later he was dead.
Oh wow!
So it's like it's really poignant, like, about it. So yeah, so
you just sort of think about it.
It's not something that kind of depresses Christmas. It's just something that sometimes pops up because it's Christmas and it was such a vivid memory.
So is it kind of a bittersweet memory then? Like you think about your dad, but then it's like a good memory?
It's not bitter at all. No, it's just remembering the last time I got to spend like really a full day with my dad, because the next time I saw him after that was for a couple of hours in the afternoon, and we told each other we loved for a large part of that. He wasn't even conscious, and he kind of woke up for a little while, and we told each other we loved each other. I left, and then the next morning we got the call that he'd passed away. So it was like, it was kind of, that Christmas Day was the last day I had with him, really. So it's not bitter at all. It's just it's a pleasant memory, but it's a reflective memory.
So that's what I mean when I say bittersweet, where it's like there's some sadness there, right? There's a little bit of like melancholy there, but it's sweet. It's like a good memory.
I don't even think there's sadness there, to be honest with you. There's reflection, just because I'm thinking back on it, but I don't feel sad about it. I'm comfortable with death anyway.
Yeah.
So it's I think it's all the time spent like meditating and being around Buddhists and things, and kind of have a certain attitude.
Give you a better approach to it. Yeah. No, that's very good.
But yeah, it's not a bitter memory at all. It's just a nice memory to have. It's just a nice reflection to have on Christmas. Yeah. So
that's awesome. So we're gonna have to hit a commercial break. But
oh God, we've been talking for time now.
I know, right? I'm trying to be on top of things, but if it needs to go a little long here and there, then I'm gonna let it go a little long here and there because I can. But yeah, let's head off
because Gil's not here to keep us in line.
That's nobody can stop me. But when we get back from commercial break, let's spin back around to Christmas, like maybe some of the more like the ways that we celebrate it are maybe like a little bit different, or like maybe how we approach it from a secular perspective versus a religious. Like basically I just really want to nail all of the great, good, fun, jolly things about this holiday season. And I think that there's a lot that we can talk about in terms of skepticism or where Christmas came from and all of that. But unless you want to go there, I'm gonna just keep us rolling on all the pleasantries about this time of year and just really make this.
Let's if we go there, we go there, but let's not force it.
Yeah, let's do it. All right, so off to commercial break.
Okay, so I have a very quiet week this week. It's Christmas week. There's some things coming up I want to talk about that are kind of after Christmas, but I'm going to put them in your minds now. So let's start off with me and Laura, whichever side she's on, where you're looking. And we will be on, I mentioned it last week, as some of you may know, we host the, we co-host the, I forgot the name, the International Freethinkers.
Yeah, we are parents.
Sorry, Jenna. Sorry, Justin. The International Freethinkers.
For you guys.
we are parents show, and this is the second one we've done, and this is all about mental health, and this is going to be in adults and children. So this is going to air on Thursday after this show, which should hopefully, if Laura's on the ball, come out on Wednesday. Then the International Freethinkers, We Are Parents, will come out on the Thursday, and we've got Bree McHugh joining us again, our very good friend, and we have got Mike. Remind me of his surname, Laura. I nailed. I
want to say Carey.
Mike Carey, that's the one.
It is right. Yay, Laura! I'm so bad at people's names. When you put me on the spot, I was like, it's wrong. It's got to be wrong.
It was the first time we'd worked with. The first time I'd worked with him. I'm not sure about you, and he was a really cool guy. It was a really nice.
I really enjoyed talking with him,
despite not remembering his name. Sorry, Mike.
It's because we've just done so many takes today that your brain is controlled. It's okay.
Yeah, that's what we call a brain fart. But yeah, that's airing on Thursday after this show, so watch that, because that's going to be a great episode, as they always are. On the 4th, I really want to announce this because Kelly is brilliant. Our Kelly Laughlin he runs a show called Meet the ACA Cast and Crew.
Yes.
And I've been on there, and I was like, me and Cynthia was on there. Cynthia had an episode on there, and me and Cynthia kind of just took over it and started talking about Buddhism for the entire thing.
Oh dear Lord, Richard, don't do that to people.
I know. But we it's a great show that he runs on Discord. It's such a sweet guy. We're trying to get him on here at some point as well, but it's the 1 year anniversary on the 4th of January for Meet the ACA Cast and Crew. So go and join Discord if you've not been on Discord before. Go and look it up. It's a fantastic show, and Kelly is such a nice guy. Get in there, give him the support. Let's get some viewers for the guy on this 1 year anniversary. I've just had mine a few weeks ago. It's a fantastic time.
Oh my gosh. I was going to say, if you haven't been on Discord, this would be a good one to start with, right? Because there's a lot of people there chit-chatting. It's very casual and fun and low-key, but it's not super, super busy. Like if you're in Discord for one of the shows, like the live shows, like Atheist Experience, it can be like chat scrolling faster than you can read it. So this is a really great place to start and sort of get involved in the Discord community.
Yeah, and there's an audio channel as well, so you can, it's just like listening to a podcast in a way. On the 8th of January, I know we're going a little bit into the future now, but I want to get this in people's minds. On the 8th of January, I am on Neil the 604 Atheist show.
Is that your first time on his show?
It's the first time on his show, and it's a long time coming. And I had some resistance for a while, just because, not because of anything. Neil's a lovely guy. It's nothing to do with him, but I always saw it as kind of a deconversion show, and I had nothing to deconvert from. So I didn't want to go on there because I didn't know what to talk about. Yeah. It turns out me and Neil have got quite a lot in common.
Oh, yeah. So you should have been on that show ages ago.
We've been chatting backwards and forwards a little bit for a few months now.
Right.
So we've finally got a date together. And on the 8th of January, I think it's a Saturday, I'm going to be on there. And trust me, when I say it, there's going to be not so much kind of skepticism, religion on there, but there's going to be a lot of talk about rock music and Lego bricks.
Yes, because it's all about you. And there will be alcohol, people. It'll be
so I am reliably informed. Yes. it's I'm really looking forward to that. It's been a long time in the making, and it's a long time overdue. So get down there and watch that and come and join us. And it usually has an after show as well, where we just kind of, or everybody's friends just pile in. So it's a great time. So yeah, get down and watch that. Laura, have you got anything specifically coming up?
I don't. My couple of things that I have between now and the next time we record is just the two Promethean Secular Frontier episodes that I did. Now it will have been in the past. So one on December 15th and one on December 20th. So if you missed those, A, shame on you. And B, get onto YouTube right now and click and go listen to those shows.
After the show. We haven't got Gil to keep us in line. We're a mess.
Oh no, this is gonna be fantastic. Like the reins are off. I am free. No, actually, Gil's so laid back. I kind of feel bad, even saying that he's a slave driver because he's such a sweetheart. But you know what he normally talks about that he's not here to talk about? A few lovely things. First is our Facebook page and all the different wonderful ways that we can interact with you listeners on our Facebook page. Which I think is the best part of doing this. Not that I don't love running my mouth, because trust me, I can talk till the cows come home. But I like interacting with people and hearing what other people have to say. And I like learning new things. And so when we put an episode up and someone else is like, well, hey, check out this resource, or hey, did you guys know that? Or you didn't even talk about this. That is it's one of my favorite things about doing this kind of show.
Yeah. It's absolutely the best where people disagree with us on the fan Facebook group, when people disagree with us and like say, well, I don't quite agree with that. And, I think you fucked up here. And it's brilliant. That's exactly what it was set up for that interaction. This episode's going to air just before Christmas, a couple of days before Christmas.
Yep.
And everybody has that little bit of spare money that they don't tell the spouse about, that they keep to themselves to treat themselves to something. I wanted to buy myself just a little present, just a me thing. We have just the thing for you, because we have a merchandise shop. And if you want to buy yourself a t-shirt that says human brains are shits, human brains are shit, you can do just that by visiting our merch store. You can get old-fashioned things like mouse mats that Laura always picks on me for. You can get cups and lots of things. What else can you get on there, Laura? Because I've drawn a blank.
Oh my gosh, t-shirts, pillows, blankets. Like basically, if you can imagine something that can be printed on, they'll print it. So yeah, check out our page. And while Richard is advocating for doing so secretively, I'm gonna say if it's gonna be a secret, it should be because you're buying it for your family for Christmas. But yeah, so you can check out all of our merchandise.
If you fucked up and forgotten someone's Christmas present and you want to get them a New Year's present,
we got you covered.
We've got your back. We've got your six.
So if you want to check out any of our stuff, whether it's a platform that you want to find us on, or if it's merchandise or our Facebook page, check us out at linktr.ee/skeptic hangout. All right, so we left for commercial break on a tiny bit of a low note. Right? We were talking about like if there's anything during the holidays that kind of make us either like sort of thoughtful or thinking back on people who we might be missing or anything like that. Which is not necessarily a bad thing to talk about, but it does kind of bring down the mood a little bit to a somber, sort of serious mood. So let's take it back up again and start talking about, what are some of the things that you participate in during the holiday season that bring you guys joy? Because we all have Christmas Day, right? But it kind of seems like the holiday season starts like, I don't know, maybe like the day after Thanksgiving. Now it seems like it's starting back in October. So
what does bring me joy, and what I think we should, because I keep glancing over at you for those who are on a visual format and catching glimpses of things, that we both have kind of festive bodywear on, and I think we should share that with people by just doing a little kind of twirl. Standing up
Okay,
and giving a twirl.
so for the visual audience, you're gonna get a little treat with our holiday clothes. For the listening audience, you need to jump over to YouTube and check out the visual side of this. If not, this is gonna be a very boring 5.5 seconds. But we have the lovely Richard with his, what did you call it? Because I call it a sweater.
Yeah, I think sweater's a reasonable description.
But you used
Uh,
a term earlier that I was like, oh, what?
Jumper.
Jumper. I think of that as a little girl's piece of clothing, like that goes over, like a little dress that goes over a t-shirt. So his lovely white and I think brown sweater is
Yeah.
knitted with little snowflakes and reindeer, and it just looks so fuzzy and warm. But it's not that gaudy, nasty, like what do they call them? Ugly Christmas sweaters.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it's very fashionable, very, very chic. And so then we have me in my little holiday shirt because everyone loves a ginger.
For the audience at home, Laurie's wearing a lovely little green piece with a with a gingerbread man sat happily on the breast area.
Wow, this show devolved quickly. So, yeah, there you have it, people. What's funny is we didn't even coordinate this. We just showed up to the show and I got my decorations up on my backdrop and I've got my t-shirt on and he's got his sweater. So if there's anything that you can learn about these two secular atheists on this very special Christmas episode, it's that we freaking love Christmas. Like it's a freaking awesome holiday. I would say it's probably my favorite. Like I love Halloween. So it might be a toss up between the two, but there's something about this holiday that to me is more sentimental and sweet and fun. And it kind of endures a little bit longer throughout the month. So I really think that yeah, Christmas might be my favorite holiday.
Yeah, I like Christmas, and when we're talking about, the question you asked is what do you like about the kind of the season rather than the day, and it's for me it's got to be the kind of the children's excitement building up around it, and it's really it's fun because I've got an 8-year-old who knows Santa isn't real, and I've got a 5-year-old who believes Santa is real. So it's but the
That's a cool
8-year-old still
dichotomy.
gets as excited as the 5-year-old. It's a fantastic time, and yeah, it's all that Santa watching, with the little apps you can get to see where Santa is around the world. And I don't know if they still do it, but when I was growing up, there was kind of a float that went round the streets with some guy dressed up as Father Christmas on the back.
Ooh, nice.
So people could just like go out and like watch Santa Claus come past. I think they still do that.
That's super cool. I love stuff like that.
Yeah, it's great. It's great fun. So yeah, the whole build up to Christmas is fantastic. It's part of the thing I mentioned earlier. The Christmas songs kind of get me in the mood for it because I only have the 2 days to kind of sit and relax for it. And that whole thing, just watching we've got the Christmas decorations up now. We've got the tree and everything up. The kids are getting in the mood for it.
Yeah.
And it's fantastic that time of year. My wife's from a town which is a couple of 100 miles away as well. So we've not got family all crunched together. So it's like preparing, sending gifts off and like making sure we catch the last post and things. Yeah. So there's a whole kind of build up that goes on. And I love all that kind of prepares me and gets me in the mood for it all.
I don't know if you feel the same way, but I think that like Christmas shopping sort of feels different than like shopping throughout the year. Even though you buy gifts for people throughout the year for their individual like birthdays or anniversaries or whatever, like I sort of feel like there's something fun about either buying or making a special gift for someone and then figuring out how to get it to them. And I'm not a gift giving person. When you talk about the 5 love languages, it's my lowest love language.
Yeah.
Yet there's something about the holiday and like doing something special for someone else. For me, I do the baking and making things because I am not a good gift giver. I go to a store and I get lost. Like, oh my God, what does this person not already have that they still need? So for me to make something for them, it's like, well, I know they don't have this, right? Because I just invented it. But but there's something about the putting, and this is like, it made me think of it when you talk about sending gifts to your family and how you sort of had to like plan it out and coordinate it and stuff. Um, there's a certain joy in just that act of like putting together something for somebody else and sending it off to them, or presenting it to them and giving it to them. Um, that I think is sort of unique to this time of year.
Yeah, do you know what? I don't actually have that because I tend to buy gifts for people on a whim anyway throughout the year. So, and that always gives me great pleasure just doing that. I mean, I was with my best friend a few weeks ago, and we were out in some stall, and she saw like a little. It was only cheap, like little egg house thing. It was like a I don't even know how to describe
Post
it. It
pictures.
was
When you say egg house, my brain goes crazy.
yeah. It was kind of in the shape of a little house, but for
Okay.
eggs. And for you
Oh,
to open
okay.
the doors up and put eggs in. And we were just passing it in this store, and my best friend says, oh wait, I like that. I won't mind one of them. And I kind of picked it up, and we had a little bit of a fight about whether she was going to allow me to buy it, and she took it off me and put it back, and then I kind of sneaked it to the till and brought it anyway and presented
I
it to
love
her
it.
later on. So that I like doing that anyway. So the gift part of Christmas isn't like, it's not particularly special for me because it's something I always do. I like buying people little gifts and just like things like that throughout the year. My wife goes crazy because I buy the kids stuff all the time.
See.
I spoil them rotten, apparently. You spend too much money on them, you spoil them. Every time we go out, I'll always get them a little bit of something just to, because I
I
just
love
like
that.
buying things for people.
I love being able to spoil people, but I love it when someone's like, when I'm out with someone who is like my friend or a family member, and they show interest in something like that, and I'll be like, hey, I'll get it for you right off the bat. But I have a very difficult time going shopping specifically to buy people gifts. And it's not because I don't
Yeah.
enjoy it, it's because typically my brain has a hard time with like what kind of gift to get someone, and I kind of obsess over it just a little bit. So it's difficult. Yeah, like it's super hard for me. But it's more because that's not the way I'm wired. But when I
I
can
pretty
bake,
much agree with you there as well. I don't
yeah.
like doing that. I don't like going out and specifically gift shopping.
Yeah, yeah. But we do a couple different really big baking days that have become kind of like traditions, reference back to our last episode. And one is to bake breads with my mother-in-law because she does the bread baking. And she brought in that to our family. And then I brought in like the cookie baking. We always did cookie baking when I was growing up, and I always did cookie baking with the kids. And it used to be a huge tradition where we invited lots of friends and family and stuff and all the little kids, and we did sugar cookies. In the last few years, especially with COVID, it's been just us and maybe like a grandparent, but we're talking hundreds of cookies. And then and different types, and like, oh my gosh, like this year we made like 3 or 4 different new ones that we've never done before. But we'll put them into little gift boxes and give them out to the families. And they're consumable, they're delicious, like they're something that I made. I didn't have to go to the store and think about like, well, does this person have this color scarf already? And if they don't, do they even want it? Right? Like it just, it's really I don't sit there and bake hundreds of cookies in like July and then give them out to people. Like it's something that for me and my family, for traditions, like it only happens the week or two before Christmas.
Yeah. That's amazing. I love that. I love that kind of getting together and baking and doing that. And I've seen the photos of the cookies you bake, and there are a hell of a lot of cookies.
Oh my God. We get the big Tupperware containers and they're stacked up right now. I think there's 2 different stacks, each are like 4 or 5 high with different cookies. And some are in the freezer because they have gooey tops. And so if you stack them on top of each other, they'll squish and gooey into each other. So yeah, I know it's
Look, people have been listening to us to rattle on for a bit, so I just want to put not so much a challenge out there, but I'm very interested for the viewers of this show and the listeners of this show. Get onto our fan Facebook page and post your pictures of yourselves in your Christmas jumpers.
Oh, and for those of you in America, that's Christmas sweater.
Yeah.
I mean, unless you like wearing little jean jumpers or whatever, that's cool too.
Yeah.
That's cool too.
All that American stuff and all. Yeah. Post your picture of yourself in your Christmas sweaters and
or tees
and or t-shirts
or jammies.
Christmas themed clothing
Mm.
and show us your baking and show us your Christmas decorations.
Yes.
Let's make our Facebook fan page fun for Christmas.
Festive and fun. Oh my gosh, yes. That'd be cool.
Get
Yeah.
all that stuff up there, because like we said at the start of the show, this isn't going to be like this is a fun show. We're not going to go down the usual skeptic thing of, oh, Jesus doesn't really exist and
is Christmas really a pagan holiday? Yeah.
Just to satisfy the skeptics out there, I'm just going to say that Daniel J. Harrington, who is a biblical scholar, thinks that Matthew invented Jesus's lineage to fit in with the Old Testament. Right, it's done. It's out of the way. We don't have to talk about
There's
that
your
shit
skepticism.
anymore. That's your skepticism.
Back to the festivities.
Get back to the fun stuff. Yeah, get your pictures on Facebook and show us your Christmases. We want to see it.
Yes, and if you don't celebrate Christmas, what do you celebrate? Do you celebrate anything this time of year? And if you do, because there's so many people out there with so many different traditions and religions and cultures and stuff. And so Christmas is hugely predominant in both of our locations, but that doesn't mean that like all of our listeners only celebrate Christmas. And
I can think of at least one of our Christmas who's from a Hindu background.
That's awesome. So what are your traditions around this time of year?
Your traditions around this,
Like, how do you decorate? What do you eat? Oh my gosh, how do you dress? Post pictures, give descriptions. I love it. Like I was telling Richard, I can't remember if it was in this episode or the last one, but last year I wanted to learn about the different religious holidays from around the world. And so we did several different ones. But in terms of gift giving, we did our gift giving during Hanukkah and did the gifts each night for the nights of Hanukkah. So I'm very interested in how other people celebrate and what kinds of traditions people have for this cold, blustery, dark time of year to help us feel bright and lovely and cheery and get us through the winter. So, yeah.
Unless you're in Australia because it's the middle of summer there.
Or anywhere in the Southern Hemisphere for that matter. Yeah. But I think that brings us right up to the end of the show, actually. Do you have any closing thoughts?
Yeah, we need to shut down because the fans and the listeners know what we're like, and me and Laura can talk. If you think back to the history episode, where we just went on and on and on and on, we need to shut this shit down at some point. Christmas is fun.
Yeah,
Christmas is, whether you celebrate it as a religious festival, whether you celebrate it secularly, whether you just have traditions, whether you don't have traditions at all, and it's just another day. It's fun. Get together, come together and be with your loved ones, have a good time, and if you're able to, do that and just take the time to sit and have fun and reflect. Fucking love Christmas, man. I've nothing else really to say.
I love it too. Yeah, no, I really like that take on it because different cultural traditions come from different sources or backgrounds. They'll have their histories, but that doesn't mean that they can't be morphed or changed or developed. And there doesn't have to be any hard set fast rule on how people do this or that. I do know that during this time of year, it can be difficult for some people. So I did want to give the sort of like the shout out to those who do struggle during this time of year. That I do recognize that the holidays aren't always 100% fun. But I think the point of this episode is to see the lighter side of it. For those of us who can appreciate that lighter side of it and just take part in what we want to take part in, throw out what we don't want to take part in, and whatever your traditions are, just to have that time of year that's sort of special to you for whatever reason. But I just wanted to celebrate that. Like I wanted to make this episode something cheerful and fun, and I think we accomplished that.
Yeah.
And if we didn't, you better tell us in the Facebook.
You know what we missed? What we missed for the extra Christmas zest was Gil's cats with the bells on the collars.
That would have been perfect. We could have sang Jingle Bells to the cat jingles. Oh, and I wanted to talk at least half the episode about all the Christmas movies I love watching, and we didn't do that either.
No, we didn't.
Huh. Might have to do a follow-up episode. How about this time next year?
I think that's a pretty good idea.
Perfect. In the meantime, we will catch you all later. And I am Laura.
And I am Richard. And I've fucking no idea
And
what the
this
outro
is the Skeptic Hangout.
Be skeptical and have a good
Stay
Christmas,
skeptical
everybody.
and Merry fucking Christmas. Bye.
We'll see you all on the other side.